The wind outside howled like a wounded animal as the storm raged. Across the city and inside the crowded shelter, a young boy around 8 held tightly onto the hand of his little sister, who lay on a makeshift cot, her small legs covered by a torn blanket. The boy kept glancing at the door every few seconds, as if he was waiting for someone, and when a tall man entered the room shaking off the rain from his coat, the boy's eyes widened because the man looked nothing like the others he carried. Himself with quiet strength, a firm jaw-kind eyes, and a presence that made people step aside. He was a single dad and a CEO, known around the city, but here, inside the shelter, his title did not matter. He was just a father holding his sleeping daughter in his arms, trying to find safety from the storm. The boy hesitated, then approached him with slow, careful steps. "Sir, my sister cannot walk, and we have nowhere to go. Could we stay near you, please?" he asked, his voice trembling. The CEO looked down at them, surprised but gentle. He lowered his sleeping daughter and crouched to the boy's eye level. "What is your name, son?" he asked softly. The boy swallowed hard. "My name is Rayan, and this is my sister Mariam. She is sick. She cannot move her legs since the accident." He spoke like someone who had carried too much for too long. The man felt his chest tighten. He lifted Mariam's blanket slightly and saw her thin legs, bruised and frail. "How long have you been out here?" he asked. Rayan scratched the floor with his shoe. "Since last night, sir. I tried to protect her, but she feels cold all the time." The CEO took a deep breath, glancing at his daughter, who was still asleep. Leaning on a pillow, he remembered the years he spent raising her alone after losing his wife. He knew the look of a child carrying a burden far too heavy. No child should survive a storm alone, he thought. Rayan looked at him nervously. "Sir, please, we will not bother you. We just need a safe place, warm enough so she does not get worse." The CEO studied the boy's trembling hands, his torn shoes, and the way he shielded his sister with his small body. He nodded slowly and said, "Stay close to us. I will make sure both of you are safe tonight." Rayan's eyes filled with relief and gratitude as he whispered, "Thank you, sir." And the storm outside continued to roar, but inside a fragile thread of hope had begun to form. Night settled inside the shelter like a heavy blanket, but the CEO, whose name was Armin, could not sleep. His daughter Liana rested beside him, but his gaze kept drifting toward Rayan and Mariam, who slept curled together on the thin cot. The shelter lights flickered, casting shadows across the children's faces, and Armin noticed how Mariam winced in her sleep. He stood quietly, walked over, and placed his coat over her small body. Rayan woke with a start and looked up. "Sorry, sir, I did not mean to sleep so deeply," he whispered. Armin gave him a soft nod. "You are safe. Get some rest." Rayan hesitated, then whispered, "Can I ask something, sir?" Armin nodded. "Yes." "What is it?" Rayan bit his lip, then asked, "Why are you helping us? We are strangers, and you look like someone important. You did not have to." Armin sighed, glancing at his daughter. "Because once someone helped me when I was alone with my little girl, and I never forgot that feeling. And because you are just children, you deserve protection." Rayan lowered his head, moved almost. "No one talks to us like that, sir. People say taking care of a girl who cannot walk is trouble." Armin felt anger burn quietly inside him at those words. Rayan continued, "My parents left after her accident, sir. They said they cannot afford a sick child, so they left us with a neighbor who eventually kicked us out." Armin felt his breath catch. Children abandoned, left to survive alone. He wanted to comfort the boy, but the pain in Rayan's voice showed a life full of rejection. Meanwhile, Mariam began coughing weakly. Rayan held her quickly. "She has been like this since yesterday, sir, but I had no money for medicine." Armin bent down, touched her forehead, and frowned. "She is burning up, Rayan. She needs a doctor." "Come with me." Rayan panicked. "No, sir, no hospitals. We'll ask too many questions. Please do not take her away from me." Armin rested a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "I will not separate you. I promise. Just trust me. I know someone who will help." He lifted Mariam gently into his arms, her tiny frame barely weighing anything. Rayan hurried beside him, holding on to Mariam's hand as if afraid someone would take her. Armin instructed one of the workers to watch Liana for a moment, and they hurried through the rain to Armin's car. Rayan stared at the shiny interior, unable to believe they were inside such a vehicle, the engine hummed and the warmth spread quickly. Mariam sighed weakly, leaning her head against Armin's chest. Rayan whispered, softly, please do not let her die, sir. Armin looked at him with determination. She will not, I promise you, and they drove through the wet, silent streets toward Hope. The small clinic run by Armin's old friend was quiet at this hour. The doctor quickly took Mariam in, examined her, and said she has a severe infection, dehydration, and weakness. She needs rest and proper care. Rayan stood, frozen as if the world rested. On the doctor's words, the doctor placed a gentle hand on the boy's shoulder. She will be fine, but she cannot return to the shelter like this. She needs a stable place, warm and clean. Rayan turned to Armin, panic rising. Sir, please do not leave us. We have nowhere to go. Armin looked at him for a long moment, then said, you and your sister will stay with me until she gets better. Rayan gasped at the words. His eyes widened. Sir, with you in your home? Armin nodded. Yes, you will both be safe there. Rayan could barely speak, as if the offer was too heavy, too unreal. He looked at Mariam, who rested peacefully after receiving treatment, and whispered, she will finally be warm. Sir, Armin placed a hand on his small shoulder. Yes, she will. When they arrived at Armin's home, Rayan froze again, unable to move beyond the doorway. The house was large, bright, filled with gentle light and warmth. Liana ran to her father and hugged him. Daddy, you are back. Who are they? Armin knelt, holding Liana close. These are Rayan and his sister Mariam. They will stay with us for a while. Liana looked at them curiously, then smiled softly. Hi, do you want to see my room? Rayan blinked, unsure and shy. But Armin smiled. Go on. Rayan, she just wants to be your friend. Rayan nodded timidly and followed her while Armin carried Mariam to the guest room, laying her carefully on the soft bed. When Rayan entered the room, he stopped, breathless. There were soft pillows, blankets, warm lights, and a window with a calming view. Sir, he whispered, this room is too good for us. Armin shook his head. No, it is what you deserve. You and Mariam will sleep here. Rayan's eyes filled instantly, and he tried to hide his tears but failed. I have never seen my sister sleep on a real bed since the accident. Sir, thank you. Armin placed a hand on his head. Get some rest. I will check on her during the night. And in the deep quiet of that large, warm home, a new chapter began for the children, who had only known cold and fear. The following days passed with gentle routines, meals, warm baths, medicine, and comfort that the children had never known before. Mariam slowly regained strength, and the color returned to her cheeks. Every time she woke, she found Rayan sitting at her side, smiling proudly, as if he alone held the sun. Armin watched them daily, curious about these siblings who clung to each other with unbreakable loyalty. He admired Rayan's sense of responsibility, rare even in grown men. One evening, while Liana and Rayan played with building blocks, Armin sat beside Mariam, who was drawing quietly using pencils Liana gave her. She looked up shyly. Sir, can I ask something? Armin smiled. Sure. Mariam, what is it? She played with the end of her braid. Why are you helping us so much, sir? Most grown-ups walk away when they see me. Rayan says it is because my legs look wrong. Armin felt a sharp ache and said gently, your legs are not wrong. You are just healing, and I am helping you because you deserve a life filled with kindness. Mariam's eyes softened as if she had never heard such words. Rayan sat beside them, hugging his knees. Sir, when Mariam gets better, I want to work, do anything. Clean, cook, carry things, just so we do not become a burden. Armin looked at him firmly. You are not a burden. You are children, and children should not worry about survival. The boy lowered his head, but a tiny spark of hope flickered inside him. Days later, the doctor visited. Again, he examined Mariam and smiled. She is strong now, and with therapy she might even walk again someday. Rayan sobbed with joy, hugging his sister tightly. Armin watched them, feeling something warm bloom in his chest, a shift he did not expect until now. He realized he did not want them to leave anymore. His home felt different, brighter, louder, more alive. Liana adored them. The house staff smiled more. Everyone felt their presence like sunlight. Armin approached the siblings, who now sat together on the sofa. Sir, Rayan said nervously, will we need to leave soon? Armin took a deep breath, knelt before them, and said, only if you want to, because if you choose to stay, my home will always be your home. Mariam gasped. Rayan froze, unable to understand. Sir, do you mean Forever, Armin smiled gently. Yes, forever, if that is what you wish. Rayan burst into tears, hugging him. Tightly, Mariam placed her small arms around him too and whispered softly, Sir, thank you for giving us a family again. And in that moment, beneath the warm lights of the home that had once belonged to only two hearts, 4 hearts beat together in quiet unity, forming the beginning of a new family founded not by blood but by kindness, trust, and love.